Desertification. What is it? What causes it? And how do we combat it? So let's start by defining desertification. Desertification is the process by which dry lands that were once capable of cultivating crops become arid due to both natural processes and human interference. This land degradation comes as a result of the changing climate, which causes severe weather phenomena, global warming, and longer periods of drought. It can also be attributed to overexertion of land by humans, particularly in the agriculture industry. This includes improper practices regarding the ownership of livestock, such as overgrazing, poor structuring of irrigation systems, and unsustainable methods of crop production. So why is desertification so bad? Well, one effect is that farming becomes next to impossible on affected land, which means a decreased food supply for the general public, and also leaves those making their living on farms without an assured income. Another is that in deserts, both wet and dry, water shortages become commonplace. Areas that are drier don't have a sustainable water supply to begin with, and thus are left totally depleted. In wetter deserts, flooding becomes more common because of the lack of botanical life, leading to contamination of the water supply, leaving it undrinkable. Though the situation seems desperate, there are several solutions that may be implemented to stop the effects of desertification at its roots. One example would be to educate agricultural communities on the negative effects of poor irrigation systems and methods of combating these effects by explaining how to properly drain salt from the soil, which makes the water used for irrigation systems toxic to crops and jeopardizing to the land. Other points of education would be ensuring livestock does not harm the land by overgrazing, and how to properly rotate crops to protect the natural nutrients in the soil. To prevent these outcomes, we will create a set of guidelines for maintaining a sustainable agricultural community, and we will encourage the implementation of routine checks to ensure these guidelines are followed. By providing communities with resources and education, the preservation of fertile land will be assured, and new jobs will be created to implement new irrigation systems, as well as to continue to ensure that farms are properly maintaining these new systems. Local economies will be protected, as well as farms begin to secure their futures and sustain the health of the lands that they rely on for food and income. Most importantly, our planet Earth will benefit from these changes as we specifically target climate action in agricultural communities and highlight the effects climate change will have on their livelihood and well-being should they fail to take action now. We would also work with smaller communities as well as companies that manufacture farming equipment to produce more environmentally friendly equipment and ensure their implementation in farms. This would include encouraging the creation of solar-powered farming equipment and filtration systems for exhaust that would allow these pollutants to be transformed into more useful products. For example, GraviKey Labs has created such a system that allows exhaust to be turned into ink for pens and other tools. Overall, this would help to minimize the detrimental effects of climate change and preserve the fertility of land for years to come. This solution would also contribute to continued sustainability in the agriculture industry and fight against world hunger and poverty.